What up, family? Let's talk about the Titanic matchup that happened last night in the WNBA between LSU and Iowa. I'm your boy Lee Black, and this is going to be a ratchet moment. I'm the voice of TFG Ratchet and the host of Real Talk for Real Men. The matchup that everybody was hoping to see went down in historic fashion last night, where Iowa's Caitlin Clark defeated in fantastic fashion Angel Reese's LSU Tigers. Now, let me be clear right off the bat. I am not a fan of the WNBA, nor is this really going to be a story about sports. I'm going to leave that for my boy Kenny Sports Hustle. In case you don't know, don't forget to subscribe on TFG Sports to Kenny Sports Hustle. But I want to talk about more than the fact that this was a historic matchup between two Titanic teams, but more importantly, two lady figures that have set the basketball world on fire. So again, this is not a basketball story. Me, I'm not actually a fan of the WNBA. I like women a little bit more feminine, but I do start to watch when we get down to March Madness and we get down to the Elite Eight, the Final Four, things of that nature. So I watched this game because in case you've been under a rock, Caitlin Clark is setting the fucking world on fire. She's actually been offered $5 million to play in Ice Cube's 3-on-3 tournament, and she is just rewriting history. And that's where I want to come in with what makes this story ratchet. See, I'm going to say the part out loud that nobody wants to say. Not only did Caitlin Clark actually show up and show out last night, scoring 41 points, but this is an underlying level of race that nobody really wants to talk about. You see, LSU, look at that picture. Angel Reese is being written into this story as the villain, as the thug, and this is very much about race. A black team primarily versus a white team. Not to mention the fact that Caitlin Clark has come along and has totally kicked the damn doors down to what WNBA players are going to earn, what's expected. She is being touted as the greatest to ever do it. And this is in some ways a slap in the face to many of those women that have come before her, particularly black. Let's not kid ourselves, people. Basketball, whether it's the men's game or the women's game, has always primarily been African Americans leading the way. And all of a sudden, here comes this white girl out of Iowa who is being considered the greatest to ever do it, and she's never played a professional game. Money is being thrown at her in ways that some of these African American females have never been able to see the likes of. And right on cue, whether you like it or not, Caitlin Clark showed the fuck out. She did her thing. I watched this game, and actually it was the first game I actually watched. The reality was that not only could she not be stopped, but Caitlin Clark and her team, they were the better team, fundamentally sound, and that's why they won. Steph Curry in the NBA game has rewritten history. The way basketball is played now, I'm not a fan. There's no defense, jacking up threes from everywhere, and the fundamental skills, I hate to say this, people, and I'm saying the quiet part out loud, fundamentally, white ball players are better at the game than African Americans. See, we're more athletic. We can jump higher. We can dunk. We're more creative. But when it comes down to the fundamentals, white players, both men and women, have a better fundamentally sound game. And since the game has changed, both in the men's and the women's sports, white players are stepping up, showing out, and they're going to be rewarded more handsomely because, frankly, they're more fundamentally sound, and the game is now about shooting. Now, that's not to say that Iowa was going to win it all. South Carolina is still the heavy favorites, but there's nothing we can do, folks. Whether we like it or not, Caitlin Clark is going to be the face of the league. She's going to get paid an unprecedented amount. There's nothing that we can do about that. She's already considered the greatest college player to ever do it. And this game, in many ways, watching it last night, it was definitely a referendum on race because quiet is kept. And even with today's pundits, nobody wants to say this, but quietly in our homes, white people, were rooting for Caitlin Clark and black people were rooting for Angel Reese. The truth of the matter is that this was bigger than just basketball, but we're not supposed to say that. We have to be politically correct and we have to pretend that that didn't happen. Let's not kid ourselves. Last night's ratings gains was through the roof, and that's because it not only drew in the hardcore double WNBA fans because they were going to be there. It also drew in that basketball fan who follows March Madness. But more importantly, the eyes on the game last night was for those casual viewers who are wanting to see if this white girl could outshine this black girl who, if you've been following, they've been considering her thugs, this, that, and that. And she's had the attitude, the smack, the talk back. And so this in many ways was a dichotomy of styles, a dichotomy of games. And this played heavily into last night's matchup. Now, I'm personally not a fan because all of these ratchet-faced bitches turned me off, to be honest with you. I called it a game between lassies and Scooby-Doos because wasn't one decent-looking woman between them, but that's neither here nor there. That's my opinion. But they did catch my attention. I watched for the historical value behind this because whether we want to pretend to or not, race and racism is always an undercurrent in everything we do as long as we live in America. In any case, this is your boy Lee Black. These are my opinions. I'd love to hear what you think about this. I'm not going to probably follow the rest of the game because, again, I like my women soft and squishy, not these ratchet-faced butch bitches that's playing, but that's just me. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. Keep tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to Real Talk for Real Men. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to TFG Ratchet. I'm going to keep the shit coming because that's exactly what I do. Peace.